Now, if you're a parent of young children, you'll probably have received a message from your kid's school recently asking you to consent to your child being given a nasal flu vaccine. Apparently, our government have spent a mountain of taxpayers' money purchasing 8 million doses of this nasal flu vaccine from AstraZeneca at £20 a dose, cheap at twice the price, I'm sure you'll agree. I mean, kids never seemed to need a flu vaccine before, but in our brave new vaccine-happy world, where it's difficult to know whether we're actually being governed by our elected representatives or by Big Pharma, the powers that be have absolutely no qualms about treating our kids like lab rats. I mean, up until now, kids with flu have been alright with a Lemsip, a blanket, and some Vicks Vapor Rub, but now they need a preventative vaccine, it seems. And they're pushing it hard. To opt your child out of the flu vaccine, you have to fill out a fairly involved form, at the end of which you're sent an email telling you what to do if you change your mind. I mean, heaven forbid children be left to develop any sort of immune system by themselves. Our government's happy to dose them up with any old muck in a huge money-making big pharma grift. And of course, if you don't allow your child to have the nasal vaccine and they get a sniffle over the winter, then shame on you. Shame on you for not filling AstraZeneca's pockets. Bad parenting. You should have your kids taken off you, quite frankly. And while huge amounts of your tax money are being spent on an unnecessary vaccination programme for kids that didn't need a flu vaccine before and don't need one now, let's not forget your kids are currently being educated in porta cabins because of crumbling concrete in old, cheaply constructed school buildings that apparently there's no money to replace. I mean, some people might suggest that our elected representatives might want to get their priorities in order when it comes to our kids' education. But why change the habit of a lifetime? And kids might as well get used to porta cabins, as what with Britain's lack of housing and burgeoning population growth, they'll probably end up living in one, and that's if they're lucky. Now, don't forget, children, work hard at school, get a good job, and maybe one day, if you climb high enough up the career ladder, you might be able to afford your own porta cabin where you can have kids of your own to vaccinate. Dream the impossible dream.